These three Malaysia stocks have been in a coiling position and could be ready to rally up and make big gains. So let's get started now to take a look at these stocks to see how we can benefit from them. So the first stock is HB Global Limited. So let's take a look at this chart right there. So first of all, we can see that it's on a very nice uptrend. So here is the reaccumulation, breaking out, forming a last point of the support, and then this is the sign of strength rally, followed by a backup action on a higher ground. So that actually shows some strength. So subsequently, there is a spike of the volume together with a very long rejection tail right there. I think that's probably responding to the earning. But anyway, subsequently, it just sort of just come back, but did not have any downside follow through. In fact, it's just continue to trend higher and have a test of the previous all-time high level with an uptrust type action and followed by a reaction down. So let's just focus on the recent price action. So we can see that this is pretty much an uptrust. So that's the reaction that comes with it. That comes with probably quite consistent of the supply, but I would say that the supply is generally on the low side, unlike this sort of the spike of the supply that we have seen. So it's a lot higher. But in terms of the general supply, I think it's generally acceptable. And look at where you actually pull back to. So this is the previous resistant, and now once it's break out and it actually form a support level. So that's the axis line, and you actually rely on this line. And once it sort of touch it, and especially with the last bar, which is kind of forming a demand tail, and you actually kind of just stop and with this range, and this range actually just sort of have the supply absorption characteristics. So let me zoom in a little bit here. So you can see that right after this reaction down, here is a stopping action, and eventually forming this sort of the little tiny range that lasts probably around 2 weeks. So within the range, we see that supply has been decreasing, especially on this last move up. So you can see this sort of the very low volume level that comes with the increasing of the lows. So the lows of each bar is getting lifted up and is approaching this resistance zone. So right now, I just would like to think that the supply absorption is near completion and is ready to trend higher and to test the previous swing high level at around 38, 39 cents. So in terms of the entry, generally I think right now here it actually present a very low risk entry with a great reward to risk ratio. So your reward is somewhere around there, while your risk could be if you place your stop loss probably around this bar here, at under probably 33 cents. So that is your risk. So at least slightly more than 1 to 1. All right, so if we can just come in above the previous swing high level, then certainly there is more upside to come. So that is generally a very bullish scenario. So in terms of it just did not have any upside follow through, have another reaction down. So at worst, then there's your stop around 33 cents. So I think that could be a very nice reward to risk ratio. All right, so before I jump to the next talk, I will appreciate if you can just like this video and also subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't, and that would means a lot to me. Okay, thanks a lot. And back to the video, the next stock is DPIH. So I have covered this stock before, and subsequently it had a good run, but it did not really go all the way up to test the swing high level, and in fact, it sort of have a reaction down, and right now it's just coiling and forming an apex formation or the symmetrical triangle. So you can see that this is the apex formation and is getting right to the end of this apex formation. So in terms of the supply level, certainly the first leg down, we see supply is decreasing, and this is what we can anticipate with a rally up. So subsequently, the supply has been decreasing further and further. So that is a typical characteristic within the FX formation. So right now, I just would like to think that supply has been exhausted, and DBIH just need to pick a direction. And in this case, because previous direction is going up, and based on the movement, I would just think that it could just trend higher once it's break out of this um, apex formation, and to test at least the previous, I think this is all-time high level, that's somewhere around 68 or 70 cents. Okay, so this is DPIH. I think right now it's just present a great reward to risk ratio, because your risk could be somewhere below this bullish bar or below just the swing low level, while your reward could be somewhere around swing high level. So definitely is more than one, I would say. Okay, so this is DPIH, and the last stock is JF Tech. All right, so I have covered JF Tech before, but it did not really show up with any kind of the great setup with the potential supply absorption process, because right there after that it just sort of forming quite a few tests. But let's just take a quick look of JF Tech. So right after this correction sell-off, so we see that there is a two leg down, so it's sort of forming a bottom right there. So in terms of the support level, we can see that this is the previous axis line or axis area, where the resistance turns support, the support turn resistance area. So it's sort of providing some form of the support level right here. So after that, we see a spike of the volume together with the bullish momentum bar, but it did not really have any upside follow through. So right there, we can see there is a reaction down. So here's a reaction down. So there's no setup, no entry. So subsequently, have another test forming a higher low. So supply is exhausted, and after that we can see that it sort of tend to break out of the intermediate resistance level. So this is the intermediate resistance level, and last week definitely here's a breakout. So there is a supply absorption process going on right here. So we see that there is an increase of the volume, suggests that there's some form of the good demand come in to push the price up, and followed by a bit of the consolidation, but subsequently there's a good breakout and followed by a test. So right now supply has been decreasing, so I just think that there is a high chance for a continuation to the upside to break above this swing high level, while your stop could be somewhere around below this bullish bar, maybe 137, 135. That's totally fine, and also I think could present a good reward to risk. So that's your reward, and that's probably your risk. Okay. All right, so this is JF Tech. I think it presents a great trading opportunity. And if you'd like to learn more on how to increase your winning rate and also check out other trading opportunities, definitely just watch a video that's shown up on the screen right now. And do remember to join my newly formed Telegram group channel for ad hoc market update, and also interact with me, and also to join my email list so that you can get a weekly email update to send to your inbox straight away. All right, thanks for watching. I will talk to you soon.